Hi, I'm Tony Van Veen, CEO of Discmakers. If you're a songwriter, I have good news and I have bad news. The good news, this month the Copyright Royalty Board, the organization which sets mechanical copyright rates in the US, announced an agreement between the major labels and music publishers and songwriters to raise the mechanical royalty rate for product sales from 9.1 cents per copy to 12 cents per copy. That's a juicy 32% increase. That means that if someone wants to record a cover version of one of your songs, one of your compositions, you'd get paid 12 cents for each copy distributed instead of 9 cents. It also means that if you want to record someone else's cover song for your album, it'll cost you 12 cents per copy instead of 9 cents. So if the CRB approves this agreement, this is great news for songwriters who stand to earn more in royalties for each CD, each vinyl record, or each download that is sold. The old rate of 9.1 cents was established way back in 2006. The new rate would go into effect in 2023 and it'll run through 2027. And in another piece of good news, the rate would automatically index to the Consumer Price Index. In other words, the rate will increase each year at the same rate as inflation. This never happened in the past. When a rate was set for a period, it remained static for that period. So cool, right? Now here's the bad news. Over the past few years, royalty rate battles have mostly revolved around mechanical royalties for streaming. Why? Because in today's world, the streaming dollars in the aggregate are significantly larger than the royalties paid from physical and download sales, which is one reason why physical mechanical rates have been flat for the past 12 years. People, the labels, composers, publishers just didn't really actually pay that much attention to it, but now physical media is actually becoming a bigger part of the overall mix again, with the popularity of vinyl booming and even CD sales starting to increase again. So right now, along with assessing the rate for mechanical royalties on physical and download sales, the Copyright Royalty Board is conducting proceedings to determine the streaming mechanical royalty for 2023 to 2027, which is necessary because the current 2018 to 2022 period is coming to an end. But here's the kicker. The current rate covering 2018 to 2022 that the CRB proposed actually never went into effect. The CRB announced for that period that it wanted mechanical royalties, again, those are the royalties to songwriters and publishers for people using their compositions, to go up. They wanted those royalty rates to go up from 10.5% to 15.1% of streaming royalties. Basically, instead of publishers and songwriters getting 10.5 cents out of every dollar of streaming royalties paid, they were supposed to start getting 15 cents. Now, for a number of reasons that are too detailed for me to get into here, that didn't sit well with some of the streaming companies. And the rate proposal has basically been tied up in appeals from Spotify, Google, Amazon, and Pandora. Effectively, the streaming companies have prevented the rate hike from happening just by tying it up in court. And they recently submitted their proposals for the 2023 to 2027 period, and guess what? They're asking for the same 10.5% rate to be extended yet again. So, is the glass half full or half empty? Well, it's clearly a good thing that mechanical rates for physical and download sales are likely to go up over 30%. However, with physical media making up just about 30% of global music revenues, the real money for songwriters is in mechanical royalties from streaming. At least if you're writing songs for the big music stars who are streaming a ton of tracks. And as you heard me mention, we're a ways away from that streaming mechanical royalty to start increasing. What's likely to happen? My guess is that the 3-judge CRB panel will again advocate for a rate increase. And hopefully now, with an agreement on a rate increase for product sales, physical and download sales, there is more pressure on the streaming platforms to agree to a rate hike as well, which would be great news for songwriters. If you're a songwriter, you'll want to stay in the loop on this matter. And one of the best ways that I can advise you to do that is to subscribe to the Music Business Worldwide newsletter, Music Business Worldwide, which has insightful news and commentary about the music industry. Hope you found this helpful. I'll see you next time.